All right, 714, they're talking about this idea of local variables. So those variables that are inside a function definition versus outside. And and they're pointing out down here that they're using I in two different ways. One outside of the function definition and one inside. So I just wrote up something very, very simple here. So I define local versus global here of A. And then I said A equals 7, and I said B equals 6, and I just return A is all, just to see what's going on. And here I said on the outside, so here, because, well, first of all, since this is an A, inside this definition here, that is a local variable for sure. Then here, since I assigned something to B, the function's going to assume that that is a local variable. I did think of one thing I wanted to try. We'll have to see on that. So that looks like a local variable, and then we'll get to see here in a minute where I do that. But so if I run that, I get what I would expect. So A on the outside is 5, but on the inside is 7, and so when I print the local versus global of A, I get a 7 for that. And then if I put the number B in there, 3, well, I still get a 7 out because this just returns A. But now, notice if I define this thing out here, C equals 4. And here I'm going to let A equal A plus C. Well, C is assigned out here, but not assigned in here, which is making it a global variable as far as that function definition goes. It knows what C is as long as I tell it what C is before I call the function. And so what we'll see, I'm adding 4 to these 7s, and sure enough. So see, it knew what the C was, even though I never declared it in here or anything. I did just think of one thing that let's try B plus 6. B equals B plus 6. This either this is just going to run like it did just now and give me these same results, or it's going to give me an error because it doesn't know what this B is on the right hand side, and it gave me the error. So see, it wants B to be local because I'm assigning to it, but here I was trying to make it global, and so it would have nothing of that. It can't be both. And I think even if you try to trick it, so let's go D equals B plus 6. Now that should work just fine, except then I'm going to let B equal D. Let's see if we tricked it. No, we did not. So you see, if you're assigning to a value inside this function definition, it's going to assume that's local, and the only place it ever looks at that variable is in this local here. These don't change it. But in the case of the C, I could change it because I'm just using it to assign to one of the local variables. So it was fine with going out and grabbing that. So let's just go back here and make that 6 just to make my output smaller again. And there we go. Okay, so that's this idea of global and local variables.